Welcome back to Otaku Daikun. Dai-chan here. CBR is one of those websites people think of when joking about modern journalism. Their articles seek to clickbait you with out-of-touch or rage-inducing headlines. This article happens to be titled 10 Problematic 90s Anime We Can't Believe Still Have Fans. If you aren't aware, the term problematic is often tossed around by delicate snowflakes who are easily triggered by anything that isn't politically correct or designed for the modern audience. Sure enough, the URL specifies it's a list of anime that aged poorly. That's not to criticize a lack of preserved footage or visual quality. Nah, critics like this tend to take things we love and claim it makes them feel uncomfortable. I happen to think anime from the 80s and 90s age brilliantly, featuring an aesthetic rarely found in newer shows. Thus, I want to check out the anime on CBR's blacklist and see if there are some hidden gems I never knew about. Does any of their criticism hold up, or was I wrong about their idea for this article? It's not like any of these series are popular by any means, so we at least know that part of the headline is definitely misleading. Anyway, I really don't know what to expect, but hopefully you'll find my video more informative than their shitty clickbait article. Garzy's Wing, Tales of Byston Well, is a spin-off of the more iconic Aura Battler Dunbine series. I'm actually surprised CBR isn't citing any political issues. No, their main issue seems to be its cringy English dub and how it perpetuates stereotypes of bad English localization. To give a proper judgment, I started this one with English audio and Japanese subs. CBR says the translation is too literal, but as it turns out, no translation could save this chaotic screenplay. The English acting is just a rotten cherry on top. It's completely tone-deaf, and everyone feels like they're just reading the script without any discernible motive.
Shiratori? This must be the place where Yamato Takeru no Mikoto came down from the sky. What? What the heck is this now?
Ah!
Whoa! Hey!
Keep walking. Use the escape route we originally planned.
Hurry up!
Get
Bow
them!
and arrow?
It's okay to kill them! Kill them all!
What happened to the war beasts?
We of the Maitomiya tribe are trying to escape from slavery under the tyranny of the Ashigaba tribe.
Now that Garzy's Wing has arrived, we can successfully escape!
This is heavier than a damn Japanese sword. I can't stop these arrows. Huh? What's that? How many people do you think are escaping?
There are about 1,000 or so just in the Maitomiya's tribe.
Don't try it, it's impossible! If you force the Daragal into Dews Marsh, it will only sink in it for sure. Are our forces chasing those who escaped? Huh?
Of course! We're chasing and attacking them!
So yeah, the dub is fucking terrible, but what about the anime itself? Unfortunately, even in Japanese, it's too fast-paced and incomprehensible. Garzy's Wing isn't problematic, it's just bad, laughably so. It's an especially gory isekai that feels like stepping onto a treadmill at max speed, or hopping from the back of a truck speeding down the highway. It's sad, because I can totally see the potential for this to be decent with better narrative pacing. Spectral Force is an old PS1 game that mostly tells its story with traditional portraits and text. Its opening cutscene is done in an anime style, but it's far from impressive. It's not even a matter of age, as many games on the same platform had amazing FMVs. Expand this subpar opening into a 2-episode show, and the results aren't any better. A true case of anime not aging well would be the industry's early experiments with CGI and digital cell painting. Artists knew how to express themselves with actual film, but it took many years to adapt that style to standard definition digital. Spectral Force is already sloppy with its 2D elements, but its mediocrity is only embellished by a strange decision to use 3D backgrounds. There are times when this technique actually looks decent in other shows, but not when it's relied on as a crutch. Strangely, the main thing about this anime that actually doesn't age well, its dated production values, isn't mentioned at all by CBR. Instead, their article bitches about religious iconography and fantasy tropes. Kennel Tokorozawa is finally the sort of anime that fits the problematic moniker. It's an edgy, erotic comedy about a perverted dog lusting after his high school owner. Chika, the girl in question, constantly gets made fun of by her parents, teachers, and classmates, with everyone joking about her marrying her dog. She hates the accusations and constantly clobbers the dog whenever he tries to jump on her. When he can't get his way, he considers game-ending himself. In real life, this would be totally fucked up, but this is just a dumb comedy. It's not especially funny, but I wouldn't say it's worth getting offended over either. It's got some nice fan service at least. To an extent, I appreciate how anime like these exist to test our ability to distinguish fiction from reality. You don't have to like it, but you'd better not go around acting like this is corrupting society with bad morals. That, and nobody's actually watching it. It's barely preserved from an old VHS tape, and I never would have heard about it if not for CBR's article. If the author didn't want us watching, they should have let this sleeping dog lie. Makes you realize how the author's just trying to grift. Their article's all about anime so problematic that it's a miracle they still have fans, yet at the same time, they admit some of them are genuinely entertaining. That's their take on Dark Cat, another edge fest about rampaging tentacle monsters and the shape-shifting cat warriors who fight them. It's known for its shocking scenes of high schoolers mutating into horrible abominations, which are animated all too well. CBR complains that this OVA is only famous for its shock factor, but what else should it be known for? It's obvious the filmmakers were aiming for edgy schlock, like the anime equivalent of a B horror flick. Viewers should know what they're getting into, but it seems weird to complain about the one draw of the film standing out too much. Soju Senshi Psychic Wars is another gory horror film CBR takes an issue with. Apparently, it's all style without substance compared to other 90s anime horror. It's about a surgeon who gains superpowers, traveling back in time to battle ancient Japanese demons. Personally, I don't see an issue with the film's stylistic choices. It's the narrative itself that happens to be clunky, like watching a wild fever dream without enough continuity. The fights, while not particularly well animated, are honestly pretty fucking hardcore. If the style's good, I don't mind if it doesn't make any sense. That's how I feel about shows like Legend of Lemnir, and if Psychic Wars featured more waifu, I'd like it that much more. That said, if you want to see a dude be badass for an hour, this isn't a bad way to spend your evening. Seriously, you could mute the entire film and use it as backing to a heavy metal album, and it'd fit great. Ninja Cadets, or Ninja Mono, is a 2-episode OVA based off a light novel. CBR calls this show problematic for being tonally inconsistent. Specifically, it's got a bright cast of characters going through brutally violent situations. They compare the emotional contrast to something like Higurashi or Angel Beats. First of all, it's nothing like those, but even if they were, so what? Honestly, I don't even think this anime is especially violent, certainly not in comparison to other anime in this same list. Here, the action scenes kick ass and fit just fine with the more comedic portions. I only have 2 issues with Ninja Cadets. One, I wish it were preserved in higher quality, as the gorgeous animation has to shine through a potato's bitrate. The footage you're seeing now has been cleaned up quite a bit. And 2, like most OVA, it ends leaving us wanting more, with various unanswered questions still on the table. As someone who grew up on 90s anime, I admit this one's unremarkable. However, I think I appreciate it now more than I would as a kid because of its lovely art style. If this one comes out on a remastered Blu-ray, I'll probably pick it up. Of all the anime in CBR's hit list, this is the best one, and it really doesn't belong next to what we've been covering. So, I'm gonna be real here. Ping Pong Club is an ugly fucking anime. The occasional pretty girl doesn't do enough to offset the horribly grotesque art style used on all the guys. Because of that, I'd never watch this show normally. However, I'm here to judge the comedy, which CBR says is dated and offensive. They compare it to Panty and Stocking for its raunchy antics. The main difference, though, is that Panty and Stocking are actually attractive, and while its comedy is sexual, it's rarely disgusting. I don't think Ping Pong Club is offensive on a social level. It's just putrid, requiring gallons of eye bleach for every second of screen time. It's indefensibly nasty, and I guarantee plenty of people thought the same back in the 90s. It's quite possibly the worst anime I've ever seen, and I'm equally revolted by its high score on my anime list. Seriously, guys, what the hell? Hari Manada is one of the very few sumo wrestling anime out there. CBR seems to think the show keeps its relevancy solely for representing a niche market, but I don't think anything about this anime has relevancy. I barely managed to find this hard-subbed VHS rip. I'll admit, the anime looks like it was made at least a decade prior, and unlike the best works from that decade, it's still incredibly lazy with production values. Does sumo wrestling deserve an anime as good as, say, Hajime no Ippo is for boxing? Maybe? I honestly don't care. That said, this isn't problematic, it's just boring and not as good as it could be. If you really want to nitpick, there is this black guy with puffy lips, but it doesn't feel racially targeted, as there are white dudes in the same episode with a similar art style. Now, I had high hopes for Super Doll Lika-chan, but between the poor quality and hard subs, I'm almost embarrassed to even use it in my edits. It's a shame, since this seems like a perfectly serviceable magical girl anime otherwise. The art style is nice, clean, and fitting for the era. Apparently, it was released in Japan to try and sell toys, like a new line of Barbie dolls. Technically, the doll it's based on released in 1967, and this anime is just using the doll as a loose adaptation. Think of it like a reboot. CBR thinks this wasn't a solid enough foundation for a magical girl show, but I don't know. I'd much rather watch this than those derivative Barbie cartoons from the same era. Hell, I like this more than other kids' anime like Zatch Bell. Just because something wasn't super popular, that doesn't mean it was bad. The last entry on CBR's list is 8 Clouds Rising, or Yakumo Tats. Their main criticism seems to be that it's a bad adaptation of its source manga. They treat it like it's one of those Unlimited Blade Works movie dilemmas, where trying to cram too much into a short runtime results in a disjointed mess. I just checked it out myself, though, and both episodes seem to match the exact same pacing as the manga's first 2 chapters. The manga keeps going, obviously, but this seems like a great way to get into the story. The art is very nice, and for a story about hot guys, there are some nice waifu, too. I genuinely don't understand what CBR's deal is here. This legit looks like something my wife would enjoy. So yeah, after looking at them, it's safe to say these anime aren't problematic in the modern sense. CBR's article was mainly using that buzzword as clickbait. A more honest headline would be, shitting on 10 unpopular anime nobody even talks about anymore. Unfortunately, these weren't all bangers like I was hoping, but you can't really know until you try. Ninja Cadets was a pleasant surprise, and Garzy's hilarious. I'm hoping you guys got something out of this excursion. Maybe you'll check out one of these anime for yourself, or at least be glad someone filtered through them so you don't have to. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below, and until next time, celebrate your fandom!
I want to give a special shout out to all my $10 and up supporters. Video Gamer 75, Dante Pendragon, Mystic Samurai 1983, Stephen Elak, Otaku Mom, Freebrick, Alexis Yukio Gomez Yamato, Lunar Works, Link Pendrago, Observer Bellis, James Hewitt, Uncanny EXP, Crow Calum, Sal Soto, Tristan Riggin, Major, Matao Mataru, Winter's Edge, Sneer Cachette, Sunbro Torian, Foxbox, Caitlin P, Sith Lord 906, Vladimirovna, The Taz 96, Kengo X 77, Alistair Bernadotte, and Reason 99. Thank you all so much.